The story begins with a young couple, Simon, a caricature artist, and Fabian, who manages an art gallery, enjoying a seemingly flawless relationship. On his father's birthday, Simon decides to pay a visit and introduce his girlfriend to his family. Upon arriving at his parents' home, they encounter his father, Carl, a successful psychologist who is surrounded by friends and family in prayer. Simon also notices a woman named Sonia, whom he doesn't recognize. His mother warmly welcomes them and encourages them to mingle with the guests, some of whom inquire about Simon's decision to leave medical school. Carl steps in to clarify that Simon is pursuing a career as an artist and is destined for success. Fabian adds that Simon has received a nomination for an award for his work. Later, while assisting his mother, she confides in him about the pressure she feels regarding Carl's new book and asks for his help. However, Simon declines, stating he is too focused on his art. At that moment, he notices his father alone with Sonia. Confused, Simon asks a family friend about her, learning that she is Carl's new secretary. Suddenly, Simon's mother has a medical episode, prompting him to rush to her side, alarmed because he thought she had overcome such issues. It's revealed that she had previously experienced these attacks, but it had been a long time since the last one. The next day, Simon and Fabian discuss the events from the party, and Simon shares his latest sketches for an upcoming exhibition in 3 weeks. However, Fabian expresses doubts about Simon's artwork. Just then, Simon's mother requests a private conversation with him. She requests his assistance in transcribing her father's book, but Simon once again declines. He refuses because he needs to complete his sketches. His mother pleads with him to help so she can take a vacation with Carl, her husband. If he doesn't lend a hand, she will have to stay behind while her husband goes off with Sonia, his mistress, whom she suspects he is involved with. In an effort to help restore his mother's marriage, Simon ultimately agrees to assist. Fabian is not on board with this plan, fearing it might interfere with their project at the art gallery. But Simon reassures her that he can finish everything on time. Simon heads to his family's house, which also serves as their office. There, his father provides a detailed explanation of how he plans to transcribe the lectures. During their discussion, Carl admits to Simon that he is in a relationship with Sonia, his secretary, and expresses his deep feelings for her, which saddens Simon. Once his parents say their goodbyes and leave, Simon begins the transcription work. As evening falls, they attend the awards ceremony where Simon has been nominated. However, when the awards are announced, Simon is not selected, and Fabian comforts him by saying that the judges lack an understanding of true art. The following day, he continues with the transcription, and during lunch, Sonia approaches him, criticizing his lack of artistic knowledge. When he returns home, Simon attempts to sketch but finds himself uninspired that night, so he distracts himself by chatting with his roommate. The next morning, Simon overhears Sonia on the phone, arguing with Carl because she feels taken advantage of. At the same time, he receives a call from his father, who advises him to keep conversations with Sonia strictly professional to avoid jeopardizing their relationship. Later that day, one of Carl's assistants informs Simon that Sonia was once a patient of Carl's, leaving Simon quite intrigued. Later on, a young woman searches for Carl, but Sonia notices her and, feeling irritated, tells the girl to leave. As Simon wraps up his shift, he looks for the USB drive needed to transfer the transcripts. He heads to Sonia's office, only to find her in tears. Offering her some tissues, he comforts her, and in a surprising turn, she hugs him and kisses him. Simon leaves, feeling bewildered. The following day, he attempts to focus on his work, yet the kiss lingers in his mind, prompting him to seek clarity. He approaches Sonia to ask if it held any significance, but she dismisses it as a mere impulsive act. After Sonia and the others depart, Simon decides to delve into Sonia's past and searches for her files from when she was a patient of his father. Just as he begins to read, there's a knock at the door. Upon opening it, he finds a delivery man holding a bouquet of roses. Reading the card, he discovers they were sent by his father to Sonia. Frustrated, Simon takes the roses to an empty lot and discards them. Later, he encounters Fabian and learns she is trying to hire the same artist who won at the awards ceremony, which greatly irritates him. Upon returning to the office, Sonia confronts him about the roses, but he claims to know nothing. A short while later, Simon overhears Sonia speaking with his father, who refers to him as a failure with mental issues. Furious, Simon storms out, telling Sonia that his father views her the same way he does. He boards the train, and upon arriving at his workplace, he sees Fabian and others setting up the gallery with the new artist. At that moment, Simon gets a call from his father, who confronts him about causing trouble. In response, Simon declares that he's quitting his job, but his mother persuades him to reconsider for her sake. Fabian then delivers a painful blow by informing Simon that his artwork is no longer relevant to their projects and that he has been removed from the team. Afterward, Simon heads back to the office, where he finds Sonia searching for the key to the files, hoping to verify Simon's earlier claim that his father views her as mentally unstable. He hands her the files he had trouble reading earlier, and when he returns to put them back, he discovers Sonia looking upset after reading Carl's remarks about her. As he approaches her, she kisses him passionately and suggests they find a more private place. Simon follows her to one of the rooms where she teases him, leading to an intimate encounter in the office's bedroom. They decide to end the workday, and she offers him a ride, mentioning that they can hang out whenever he likes. This news lifts Simon's spirits and brings him joy. However, the mood shifts when his roommate informs him that Fabian has become quite close to the new artist. Later that night, they attend a party where Fabian is enjoying himself. Noticing Simon's sadness, Fabian approaches and kisses him. Overcome with guilt, Simon admits to having slept with Sonia, shattering Fabian's heart. Disheartened, Fabian tells Simon that their relationship is beyond repair and walks away. After Fabian leaves, Simon receives a text from Sonia inviting him to her apartment. Without a second thought, he heads over and she leads him to her bedroom, where they end up being intimate once more. Sonia, having already prepared dinner, invites Simon to join her at the table. After they finish eating and share some conversation, Simon spends the night with Sonia. When he wakes up, he finds that she is gone, but has left a note indicating she will return shortly. A few minutes later, Simon is taken aback when his father, Carl, walks into the apartment, equally surprised to find his son there. Carl quickly grasps the situation and informs Simon that Sonia has always desired a child. Since he cannot provide that for her, their relationship has faced numerous challenges. Just then, Sonia arrives, kisses Simon in front of his father, and then asks him to leave. As Simon gets dressed to go, Sonia inquires if he mentioned anything to his father before she arrived. He replies that she has already revealed everything to Carl, and that their encounter was more about getting back at his father than any real feelings for Simon. She concedes that her actions were indeed a form of retaliation against Carl, as well as for Simon. Simon's mind begins to race with thoughts. Upon returning to his apartment, he receives a call from his mother, who informs him that Carl plans to move in with Sonia. At that moment, Simon's mother suffers another episode. He rushes over, and she accuses him of making things worse, blaming him for Carl's departure. This accusation hits Simon hard as he feels responsible for the turmoil. He goes to the studio, attempts to reconcile with Fabian, and pleads for her forgiveness, but she insists he must accept that their relationship is over. Back at his apartment, Simon destroys all his artwork in a fit of rage, leading to a breakdown that lands him in the hospital. Carl visits him and insists he never intended to disrupt Simon's life with his personal choices. However, Simon retorts that his father has ruined his mother's life, driving her to madness. Carl professes his love for Simon's mother and his desire to be with her, but he also admits his feelings for Sonia. A few months down the line, Simon is now a medical student attending the launch of his father's latest book. At the event, he notices that Sonia is expecting, and her mother informs him that she will be looking after Carl's child since Sonia is unable to do so. Later, Simon comes back home for another family gathering. Sonia hands him her baby, and in that moment, he realizes that she has been using him all along to satisfy both her and his father's desires.